Scott's office wraps Broward's unacceptable ballot destruction in the Wasserman Schultz race. This is down in Miami. Thank you very much, Allie. That's very nice of you to say. Governor Rick Scott's office wrapped Broward County's election supervisor for giving an insufficient response to an official inquiry concerning her apparently unacceptable decision to destroy a congressional race's paper ballots that were the subject of litigation. The ballots in questions were cast in the 2016 South Florida Democratic primary between Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz and challenger Tim Canova, who later asked to inspect the paper trail because he was concerned about election integrity. Canova finally filed suit against the Broward County's election supervisor, Brenda Snipes, when he felt his public request to inspect a select number of ballots was not being honored in a timely fashion. Regardless of the electronic copies, now get this, the destruction of the paper ballots themselves is not legal, election law experts say, citing a federal law that says election records are supposed to be preserved for 22 months after a federal election. Under state law, a public record that's the subject of litigation isn't supposed to be destroyed without a judge's order. Snipes' attorney, Bernadette Norris Weeks, told Politico that the ballot destruction was legal because they were maintained in an electronic format. But Ken Detzner, the Florida Secretary of State appointed by Scott, said in a December 20th letter to Snipes that he was following the Canova case with particular interest and concern and requested she provide by January 3rd an explanation of the procedures, events, legal basis, and reasoning for their disposition in the manner taken. Yeah, electronic records, voting records, I mean, they can be hacked so easily. We hear about this all the time. People talk about this all the time. Like how easy electronic voting records can be hacked. That's why we need the paper trail. So they're like, oh, well, they were backed up electronically, so we were able to destroy them. Well, that's the whole reason we have them in the first place today is because of how easy it is for them to hack this stuff. So that's a bullshit excuse. You guys catch that. Like, that's a nonsensical excuse. Like, it's like, oh, well, we have electronic copies, so we don't need the paper copies. No, we need the paper copies because that stuff's not totally safe. Paper copies, if we have them, if we can touch them, if we can, hey, here we go. Right? All right. 9 days later, however, Snipes said in a reply letter she wanted a 60-day extension deadline because this issue is now in a full litigation process. Jesse points out, it only matters if we think Russia did it. Right, exactly. Exactly. We don't care. We don't care about election fraud when it's just the powers that be doing it or the DNC doing it. And Debbie Wasserman Schultz is a payday loan shark. That's the type of moral integrity she has. She has made a fortune working for deceptive loan practices. And she calls herself a, quote, Democrat. She claims she's for single. She has outwardly lied to people constantly, saying she's for single payer. She's not. I mean, it's unbelievable. And Tim Canova, by the way, and I'll put all my cards on the table. I like Tim Canova. I'm a supporter of Tim Canova. I've met him a couple times, and I really hope he primaries her out. He would be such a better thing for that state and for this country than Debbie Wasserman Schultz. He's challenging her. He challenged her before, and he lost. But you know, there's some suspicion that the ballots weren't totally counted properly, and there was some ballot destruction going on. That's what we're talking about here. And he came close. And you know what? I think Debbie Wasserman Schultz is grossly unpopular. Tim Canova is rising in popularity by the day. He does have a shot. Joe says Tim Canova is awesome. I really hope he wins. I do too, Joe. I do too. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I got to say, I really hope. So I guess we'll see what happens. But now, Governor Rick Scott. I do not like Governor Rick Scott. I'm not a fan. But the fact that he's being vocal about this is not a bad thing. Even though he's probably just doing it as a political move, it's still not a bad thing. And if it shines some light on Debbie Wasserman Schultz, that increases her chances of getting primaried out by Tim Canova, that's a good thing. So we'll see how all this unfolds. Hey guys, thanks for watching. That was a clip from Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means I log on to a stream and people tweet me articles over on Twitter at Ron Placone, or they use our Reddit subsection, which is just Get Your News On with Ron over on Reddit. And that's how we build the show. I'm seeing all these articles for the first time. We are literally getting our news on together. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone so you can participate. And this show streams live every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please do tune in. If you want to support this show, you can do so over on patreon.com/Ron Placone, where for as low as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts every week, exclusive videos, free tickets to shows when I'm performing in your town, and more for as low as $1 a month. Please do consider it. Thank you so much for your support. This has been Get Your News On with Ron.